Happy President's Day, and I have a great present for you to celebrate. Here are the 5 most attractive presidents of these United States. That's right, I broke this down. And anybody can debate best president, worst president, most effective president, most underrated president. But how many people can tell you the most attractive presidents? This guy right here, Chris Cillizza. That's me. Okay, ready? We're going to start with number 5. Number 5, Millard Fillmore, particularly young Millard Fillmore. Now, if you've never seen a picture of Millard Fillmore, you should type it into the internet because Millard Fillmore looks exactly like Alec Baldwin. Like a young Alec Baldwin, a middle-aged Alec Baldwin, and an older Alec Baldwin. It's incredible. At first, I thought the internet was playing a trick on me when I saw Millard Fillmore many years ago because I was like, is that just Alec Baldwin in some kind of period dress? No, that's Millard Fillmore. Here's a great Millard Fillmore. Now, this may be apocryphal, but Millard Fillmore met Queen Victoria. And Queen Victoria allegedly said he was the best looking man she ever met in her entire life. Now, Fillmore scholars say that may or may not have happened, but here's a great quote from a woman who works at the Millard Fillmore house. She said, he was considered a very good looking man. Okay, Millard Fillmore. Okay, that's number 5. Number 4, James K., the K stands for Knox, Polk. James K. Polk. Okay, so James K. Polk, you probably don't know that much about him as president, but actually, he's sort of an underrated president. So let's talk about his looks first. So he wore a heavy pompadour. He's got, if I had hair, I could do this. He had a big pompadour, very good looking. He looked like a little bit like Elvis, early Elvis, not late on the toilet Elvis, early Elvis. Big pompadour that he then transitioned into a mullet. He has like really long hair, like down to his shoulders as he went on in his presidency. Now, here's a couple fun facts about James K. Polk, other than he was very attractive. Fact 1, he was the guy who sort of put in place the idea of manifest destiny to go west. So he annexed Texas, and he acquired California. He doubled the size of the territory of the United States in his one term as president, and many people say he was the single best one-term president ever. He said he would only serve one term. He did only serve one term, and he died of cholera 103 days after leaving office. That's Polk, number 4. Number 3, you probably were waiting for this one. Some people rate him higher than this, but I don't. John F. Kennedy. So, look, Kennedy is a guy everybody knows was attractive, right? It was part of what was being sold, the Kennedy myth. Camelot, Jackie Kennedy, the two of them. He's a blue blood. He's wealthy. You know, I read all this stuff about him. You know, he was always tan, right? He was always tan. He looked athletic. He was the first president to wear sunglasses. Interestingly enough, he wore very slim-fitting suits. He was trim, wore slim-fitting suits, thin ties, very fashionable. Always looked great in formal wear, right? Always wore the Oxford shirt, right? Just into style, into how he looked. Now, anyone who knows anything about JFK knows he was actually super ill much of his life. And so the idea that he was like this great, healthy, handsome guy is actually belied by the fact that he had last rites read to him multiple times during his life. All right, before I get to numbers 2 and 1, big reveal, let me tell you, make sure you subscribe to this channel because I'm doing fun, independent, authentic, transparent, objective political analysis every single day. And yeah, we're going to have a little bit of fun every once in a while, like on President's Day. We'll have a little bit of fun. But please subscribe to this channel if you haven't. All right, now, back to the countdown. At number 2, and again, you can debate this, I think, but in my opinion, underrated handsome, also an underrated president, Ulysses S. Grant. The S doesn't stand for anything. Ulysses S. Grant. So Grant is a guy who didn't live all that long. He died of throat cancer. I'll get to that in a minute. But is a guy who I think he was appealing, I think, especially to women in a lot of ways. Look at his eyes. Soulful. Troubled. Grant was always very enigmatic, right? He was kind of a drifter before the Civil War, even during parts of the Civil War, but then found his purpose, right? The general that won the Civil War along with Abraham Lincoln. Kind of a big deal. Now, he's also sort of a noble guy. So he was worried about his family's financial well-being because he knew he was dying of throat cancer. So even though he barely could speak, and by the end almost couldn't, he was writing his memoirs as he was dying of throat cancer so that they would sell and his family would be financially taken care of. So also honorable, troubled, mysterious, and honorable. Also a war hero. Also great sideburns. Okay, that's Ulysses S. Grant. Number 2. Number 1, and I will brook no debate about this. Number 1, with a bullet, no question, Franklin Pierce. Now, Franklin Pierce, you don't have to trust me. Trust Harry Truman. President Truman said that Pierce was the single most attractive person to hold the office up to Truman. So I guess you could say maybe JFK came after Barack Obama. Obviously, he'd probably be number 6 on my list. But Truman said Pierce was the best looking person he'd ever encountered, best looking president he ever encountered. There's a million fun facts about Franklin Pierce. A couple. He was really good friends with Nathaniel Hawthorne, the author who wrote The Scarlet Letter and lots of other, I think Jude the Obscure, lots of other, no, that was Thomas Hardy. Nathaniel Hawthorne, ignore me. Hawthorne wrote Franklin Pierce's campaign biography. Pierce also the only president born in New Hampshire, and there is a Franklin Pierce, I think it's college, named after him. Not just because he was good looking, but named after him in New Hampshire. Now, Pierce's life, honestly, kind of tragic. He's not regarded as a particularly good president, and his personal life was brutal. So he and his wife had 3 kids. They all died at a very relatively young age. The last surviving one died in a train accident with his parents 2 months before Franklin Pierce's inauguration. His wife basically spent the entire term in mourning. So good looking, but a very, very hard life and story. Okay, so that's my 5. So it goes Millard Fillmore at 5, young Alec Baldwin. Thank you, Thumb. Number 4, James K. Polk, pompadour, into a mullet. Number 3, JFK. I mean, obviously, you've seen the pictures. Number 2, Ulysses Grant, haunted, soulful eyes. And number 1, Franklin Pierce, without question, the best-looking man ever to grace the presidency. So that's my 5. What are yours? You got a comment? Throw it in the comment section. Again, I'm asking you to do a couple things. Subscribe to the channel. Like this video. Do it for the algorithm. Comment on this video. Do it for the algorithm. And of course, tell 10 of your closest friends that, hey, this guy's doing interesting commentary and also the 5 most attractive presidents. How can you beat that? Plus, the price is amazing. It's free. All right, everybody, take good care.